Alex Eala's Manila fan meet has become one of the hottest topics in Filipino tennis circles, with social media buzzing over a simple claim: fully redeemed tickets in just 2 hours. But here's the interesting part: there were never any tickets for sale in the first place. The event, scheduled for Wednesday, July 15, 2026, at the Glorietta Activity Center in Makati City, was announced by Globe Telecom as a free public gathering. Registration opens at 4 p.m., the program begins at 6 p.m., and event access details were still being finalized only days before the occasion. Nothing was being sold, yet the phrase continues to spread because everyone understands what it truly represents. It is not about ticket sales, it is about demand. It is about a 21-year-old tennis star who was ranked outside the world's top 100 just a year ago and is now returning home as one of the biggest sporting figures in the country. The reality behind the headline is even more remarkable. Alex Eala is about to walk into a shopping mall, and an entire nation is preparing to welcome her. That is the real story. Just 6 days before the event, Eala walked off center court at Wimbledon after making history as the first Filipina ever to reach the round of 16 of a Grand Slam tournament. Her inspiring run ended in a hard-fought 3-set battle against Italy's Jasmine Paolini, 4-6, 6-4, 3-6, but the result did little to diminish the significance of what she had achieved. 2 days later, she boarded a flight home, and on Sunday, July 12th, she arrived at Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3 to a reception that felt more like a championship celebration than a routine airport arrival. Hundreds of supporters gathered to catch a glimpse of their tennis hero, while Philippine Olympic Committee President Representative Abraham "Bambol" Tolentino personally welcomed her back to the country. That was only 3 days ago. Now Wednesday belongs to the fans. And as anticipation continues to build ahead of her appearance in Makati, a bigger question lingers over Alex Eala's remarkable rise. A question the tennis world has quietly been asking throughout 2026, and surprisingly, it is not the question most people would expect. The question surrounding Alex Eala is no longer whether she can defeat the world's best players. She has already answered that. At just 21 years old, she has recorded 7 victories over top 10 opponents, with her most memorable triumph coming at Wimbledon when she stunned defending champion Iga Swiatek on center court. Eala battled through an unforgettable first-set tiebreak, winning at 11-9 before dominating the second set 6-2 to complete one of the biggest victories of her career. That debate is over. The real question now is far more challenging. Can one young athlete carry the expectations of an entire nation without being overwhelmed by them? Because those expectations are real, and they are immense. Other players have openly admitted how difficult that responsibility can be. Ons Jabeur has spoken about the unique pressure of representing not only herself, but an entire region, explaining that it is unlike the normal stress of professional tennis. Filipino fans have become one of the most passionate followings on the WTA Tour, at times creating such overwhelming support that tournament organizers have struggled to manage the crowds. During the Australian Open in January, Novak Djokovic was asked about the growing number of fans following Eala and simply smiled, calling it a good problem to have. It was a diplomatic answer, but beneath those words lies a more complicated reality. Representing an entire country is both an incredible honor and an enormous responsibility. That is the deeper story behind Wednesday's fan event in Glorietta. It is not about whether the venue filled up or whether the online registration disappeared within hours. It is about whether Alex Eala can embrace the love and expectations of millions of Filipinos while continuing to grow as one of the brightest young stars in tennis. To understand why this moment matters so much, you have to look back at the remarkable 5 months that led to it. Everything changed with her unforgettable Wimbledon victory over Iga Swiatek. The defending champion and world number 3 entered center court as the favorite, but Eala refused to be intimidated. She edged an incredible opening set tiebreak 11-9 before cruising through the second set 6-2, producing a performance that announced her arrival on one of tennis' biggest stages. Yet what happened after the match revealed just as much about her character as the victory itself. Speaking with ABS-CBN in Tagalog, Eala laughed as she described a surprise her team had prepared for her, a special design on her racket bag that they had kept secret until after the match. "I was actually surprised. They made this and then showed it to me," she said with genuine excitement. It was a small moment, but it revealed something important. Just minutes after defeating the defending Wimbledon champion on center court, she was still able to appreciate a thoughtful gesture from her team with the same humility and joy that had always defined her. That grounded personality has become one of the reasons fans connect with her so deeply. Although her inspiring Wimbledon run ended in the 4th round with a hard-fought 3-set loss to Jasmine Paolini, the tournament had already changed the way the tennis world viewed Alex Eala, and perhaps even the way an entire nation viewed its newest sporting icon. She left London with the greatest Grand Slam result of her career, a place in the round of 16, a prize check worth more than $300,000, and a flight home to a nation that had believed in her long before the international headlines arrived. But Wimbledon was not a miracle or a one-off breakthrough. It was simply the highest point of a remarkable season that had been building momentum for months. The wave began in January, when Alex Eala headlined the inaugural Philippine Women's Open at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, marking the first WTA tournament ever held on Philippine soil. It continued through February and March in Dubai, where she reached the quarterfinals of the Dubai Tennis Championships, and every one of her matches sold out. Not as an exaggeration, but as a measurable fact. When she faced Grand Slam champion Coco Gauff, even Gauff acknowledged the extraordinary atmosphere afterward, saying, "I've played this tournament for many years, and to see the stadium full, it means a lot." She wasn't referring to her own popularity. She was talking about the crowds that came to watch Eala. The excitement only grew at Indian Wells in March, where Front Office Sports reported that thousands of fans remained in the chilly evening air until nearly midnight to watch her second-round match. Even her practice sessions attracted crowds comparable to those following Carlos Alcaraz, Jannik Sinner, and Venus Williams on nearby courts. Earlier in the season, at the Australian Open in Melbourne, organizers had placed her opening round match on a smaller court, only to discover that they had badly underestimated her growing fan base, as spectators packed the fences and filled every available space just to catch a glimpse of her in action. None of these moments happened in isolation. Together, they formed a clear 5-month pattern that explains why the story of Glorietta selling out spread so quickly across social media. Whether people realized it or not, they were reacting to months of evidence showing that wherever Alex Eala plays, fans follow in extraordinary numbers. And perhaps the biggest story extends far beyond one player. Think about how dramatically the Philippines' relationship with tennis has changed in just 6 months. In January 2026, the country celebrated hosting its first ever WTA tournament. By July, it was celebrating something even more historic. One of its own had become the first Filipino player to reach the round of 16 of a Grand Slam in the Open era. That transformation is larger than any single match, ranking, or trophy. It signals the arrival of a new era for Philippine tennis, with Alex Eala standing at the center of a movement that continues to grow with every tournament she plays. This is not a normal timeline. It is the rare story of an athlete and an entire nation rising together at a speed that is almost unheard of in a sport with such a long and established history. That is exactly why Wednesday's event means far more than an ordinary fan meet. On paper, it is nothing more than a public appearance at a shopping mall. Registration begins at 4 p.m., the program starts at 6 p.m., there are no tickets, no tournament draw, no championship trophy, and no final score to celebrate. Yet by Wednesday evening, Ayala Avenue is expected to feel less like a shopping district and more like the site of a major sporting event. The reason is not clever marketing or a promotional campaign. It is something much deeper. Filipino sports journalist TJ Manitok summed it up perfectly when he said, "The country has been hungry for the next Manny Pacquiao." When he was at his peak, life stopped. When there was a fight, the roads were empty because everyone was watching. That comparison explains everything. The Philippines has not been waiting for Alex Eala since Wimbledon, or since her breakthrough performances in Dubai, or even since her remarkable run in Miami the year before. The country has been waiting for a sporting figure who could unite people in the same way for years, and many Filipinos now believe they have found that person. That is what Wednesday truly represents. It is not the moment when fans discover Alex Eala. It is the moment when Alex Eala discovers just how deeply her own country has embraced her. The tennis world has been recognizing this shift for months. Novak Djokovic described the enormous crowds following her as a good problem to have. Former world number 1 Andy Roddick praised her rise on his Serve podcast, calling it exactly the kind of story that is good for the future of tennis. BNP Paribas Open executive Philippe Dor also welcomed the excitement, saying, "We love every minute of it. We benefit from it. We promote it." Coco Gauff spoke about seeing packed stadiums during tournaments featuring Eala, while her stunning Wimbledon victory over IGA Swiatek drew public praise from some of the biggest names in the sport, including Billie Jean King, Venus Williams, and Maria Sharapova, Eala's childhood idol. Even Catherine, Princess of Wales, publicly acknowledged the historic moment. When champions, tournament executives, tennis legends, and global public figures all begin talking about the same young player, it is no longer just a promising career. It is the unmistakable sign that Alex Eala has become one of the sport's most compelling new stars, and Wednesday's celebration in Manila is simply the latest chapter in a story that continues to capture the attention of the entire tennis world. That is the stage a 21-year-old from Manila now finds herself standing on. Whether the tennis world has fully grasped the magnitude of her rise or not, it has undeniably turned its attention toward Alex Eala. But the significance of Wednesday extends far beyond a single evening in Makati. It is not really about a fan meet at all. Just 12 days later, on July 27th, Eala will return to competition at the Mubadala DC Open in Washington, a WTA 500 event that begins the crucial North American hardcourt swing. From there, Her schedule continues with the Canadian Open, the Cincinnati Open, and finally the US Open at Flushing Meadows, running from August 30th through September 13th, the final Grand Slam of the season. Her accomplishments in 2026 already speak for themselves. Before Wimbledon, she had earned more than $871,000 in prize money, and her historic run in London added another substantial payday along with a career-defining milestone. Her world ranking has climbed into the top tier of women's tennis, hovering around number 30, depending on the latest ranking update. Yet none of those statistics truly explain why Wednesday matters. Rankings, prize money, and records can all be found on the WTA website, but what will happen in Glorietta cannot. This event is about something no ranking system can measure. It is the moment when an entire nation tells one of its brightest athletes, face-to-face, what she has come to represent. When Alex Eala walks onto the court in Washington less than 2 weeks later, she will not simply be returning as another rising player on the WTA Tour. She will carry the confidence, pride, and expectations of millions of Filipinos who now see themselves reflected in her journey. That sense of purpose did not exist a year ago. It has been built step by step throughout an unforgettable season, from the Philippine Women's Open in Manila to the packed crowds in Dubai, the growing excitement at Indian Wells, the breakthrough performances in Berlin, the historic run at Wimbledon, and now a homecoming celebration just a few kilometers from where she grew up. At the same time, it is important to remember that she is still a young athlete navigating both triumph and disappointment. Her Wimbledon campaign ended with a genuine defeat, a hard-fought 3-set loss to Jasmine Paolini, 4-6, 6-4, 3-6. She battled back to win the second set, but could not maintain the momentum in the decider. It was a painful ending to an extraordinary tournament, and it remains the most recent competitive match of her career. Eala has not spoken publicly in detail about that loss, and there is no need to imagine thoughts she has never expressed. What we do know is simple and factual. Her flight home had already been scheduled, and regardless of the result on center court, she was always coming back to the Philippines. The only difference is that this time, she returned not just as a talented young player, but as a national sporting icon welcomed home by a country that had been waiting for this moment. When Alex Eala booked her flight home, she had no way of knowing how her Wimbledon journey would end. She didn't know whether she would return as a fourth-round Grand Slam player or with an even greater achievement. In the end, she came home as the former, but it turned out that the result was never the point. The crowd still gathered at the airport to welcome her, and they will gather again at Glorietta on Wednesday, because the Philippines was never waiting for Alex Eala to win a Grand Slam title. It was waiting to welcome one of its own home. That brings us back to the sentence that started this entire story. Alex Eala's Manila fan meet sells out Glorietta in minutes. Technically, that statement isn't true. Nothing was ever put up for sale. There was no countdown timer, no online ticket queue, and no sold-out announcement. There is simply a shopping mall in Makati, a registration table opening at 4 p.m., a program beginning at 6 p.m., and a 21-year-old tennis star who will walk through the doors surrounded by security before greeting thousands of supporters. Yet in another sense, the headline captures something words alone struggle to explain. Nothing was sold, but everything was already spoken for. The excitement, the anticipation, and the overwhelming support had been building long before this event was announced. 48 hours ago, people wondered whether Manila would show up. By Wednesday evening, that question will already have its answer. In truth, the answer was decided months ago. It was written during her unforgettable run in Miami, reinforced by the sold-out crowds in Dubai, strengthened by the late-night fans who refused to leave Stadium 3 at Indian Wells, and confirmed on center court at Wimbledon when Alex Eala defeated defending champion IGA Swiatek 7-6, winning the tiebreak 11-9, before closing out the match 6-2. Those numbers are now etched into the memories of Filipino tennis fans, just as her name has become something much bigger than a surname recognized by family and friends. Today, it is a name celebrated by an entire nation. Alex Eala belongs on center court because she has earned her place among the world's best. She also belongs at Glorietta because she has never stopped belonging to the people who believed in her long before the international spotlight arrived. On Wednesday, those two worlds come together in one place. And if this remarkable journey has taught us anything, it is that this is only the beginning. The next chapter starts on July 27th at the Mubadala DC Open, followed by the North American Hardcourt Swing and the US Open, where new opportunities and even bigger moments await. If you don't want to miss what comes next in Alex Eala's incredible story, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with us, because this journey is far from over, and in many ways, its most exciting chapter is only just beginning.